Oh, good afternoon, class. I think it has been a good day. We thank God we are still alive and kicking. We hope He is going to do more marvelous things for us. We are yet back for another lesson. We are going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. We were getting the recap of the waves which we had studied so far when we were sitting together. And we went as far as reaching the equation of a wave. That equation that relates wavelength, frequency, and the velocity of the wave. I left it with you as an assignment. Hope you did the work very well, and it came out very well. We stopped on this assignment wave equation, where I told you to derive an expression for the wave equation. I expected you to come up with this expression of which I believe you came up with it. Is that fine? Good. The equation was like V equals F lambda. Just to take it through, I think you did something like this. You defined velocity, and velocity is given by distance traveled divided by the time taken to travel that very distance, which in that case you consider the distance traveled. If a wave travels a distance which is equal to the wavelength, the distance, the time that corresponds to the distance wavelength is the period. That's why you're saying that whenever a source of wave makes one oscillation, the total distance traveled is equal to one wavelength. And the time taken is the period. It's supposed to be capital T. So from there, you say distance is lambda, the time is capital T. So that's why you have velocity equals to distance lambda divided by capital T. But 1 over capital T here, we saw that it was frequency. So we came up with V equals to F lambda. Good. We also noted this one in our lesson when we are sitting together. Found out that mega, when you talk of mega, that means exponent 6. Kilo means exponent 3. Micro means exponent negative 9. And milli means negative 3. Then nano means exponent negative 9. You saw this NB. We said that for any electromagnetic wave, you don't need to be told. If an example says an electromagnetic waves, these X-rays, light, gamma rays, ultraviolet, and so forth, as we saw the other time, their speed is constant, that is 3 exponent 8 meters per second. You don't need to be told that. Is that fine? We looked at this calculation. We looked at the first calculation. We looked at the second calculation. We looked at the third calculation, the fourth calculation, fifth calculation. We looked at all these calculations. Not until when we went to progressive wave. Yesterday we also defined a progressive wave. We defined it. We're going to also build up from there, where we said the progressive wave is that one travels in one direction and carries energy from the source to the surrounding areas. Today we're going to see that energy which is carried by the progressive wave. Energy carried by the progressive wave is the kinetic energy. Yes, it's the kinetic what? Energy. So, of which is given by kinetic energy. You know the expression of kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is given by a half times the mass times the velocity, but what? But squared. Is that fine? Good. But velocity is given by omega A, where omega is the angular velocity and A is the amplitude. And omega is also known to be equal to 2 pi f. That means that the velocity v is given an omega, which is 2 pi f, then times what? Times a. That means that our kinetic energy is given by a half times our m, then times the velocity squared, which is going to be 2 pi f a, but what? But squared. When you square the other side, we get this one to be a half m times, this is 4 pi squared f squared a squared. So this and this one will go. We shall have m, then this is a 2, then this is pi squared a squared squared, that is after these two crossing this. So we shall have 2m pi squared a squared as the energy which is carried by the what? Which is carried by wave. Good. So it's just right here. We saw it the other time when we were sitting together. It is given by 2 pi squared ma squared f squared. Then we define the intensity of the wave, where we said that the intensity of the wave is just the amount of energy which is flowing perpendicularly per unit area of a wave profile. That's how we define intensity of wave, the rate of flow of energy through an area of 1 meter square, that's per unit area, perpendicular to the path of the travel of the wave. Good. We did not stop there only, but we also saw energy per unit volume. We wrote this question down. We said that show that the energy per unit volume of a wave is given by 2 pi squared f squared a squared rho. Before we derive the expression for the energy per unit volume, you need to know, of course, the energy itself, which is this. We need to know this energy itself. When we know this energy, then we can derive the energy per unit volume. Energy per unit volume is given by this, but as I told you, we need to know this energy first. We know this energy, then we can easily get this energy. How do we arrive at that? We saw it. We said if we know the other energy, the kinetic energy is given by this, then the energy per unit volume, which is of course, let's say kinetic energy divided by volume, will be the same as the kinetic energy, which is 2m, the kinetic energy which is 2m pi squared f squared a squared, then divided by the volume. However, we have the relationship between mass and volume. You see, this is the mass over volume. It's already known that mass divided by volume equals to density what? Density rho. Is that fine? Is that okay? Good. So if you have mass over volume as density, then that means that kinetic energy divided by volume will be the same as 2. Mass over volume is already density, that is rho. Then you remain in the pi squared a squared a squared. If I'm to rearrange this, this is 2 pi squared a squared rho as the energy per unit volume. Please, it's very simple as you saw. It's just quite interesting. We never stopped there. We went to equation of progressive wave. Now in regards to equation of progressive wave, that's the interesting part of the wave. Actually, I guess you also engaged it when we were still together. But let's have a recap of what we saw when we are still together. Good. We said if you are to get the equation of the progressive wave, don't forget we said the progressive wave is that one that moves from one point to the other, from the source to the surrounding area, carrying the carrying energy. So let's see how. Well, let's have a recap of the equation of the progressive wave. We said if we are to consider the equation of the progressive wave, what to do? You consider two points, which are on the wave form. We draw the graph for the progressive wave, the displacement time graph. You see this is the graph. So we consider point O, which is at the starting point, and then there is that point where we have phi. It corresponds to the linear distance P. So we are considering a wave which is traveling from left to right. Is that okay? From left to what? To right. If you remember very well, we said that if we have two particles on the wave front, then we can always conclude that one leads the other if they are at different points. If we have two particles at different points on the wave front, not at the same point, then that means that one leads the other by a certain angle. You get that? If they are at the same point, remember we said they are in what? They are in phase. We said that they are in phase. But if they are not at the same point, then one leads the other, or one lags behind the other. By what? By a fraction of a circle, which you call to be the phase angle. And here, we denoted it with the phi. This phi, that is the phase angle. Now, it is important to first note that the equation of the progressive wave is given by a general expression y at any point y equals to a sine of omega t. Is given by y equals to a sine of omega what? Sine of omega t. Is that okay? That's the general expression for the equation of progressive wave. Now, if we are to consider a wave traveling from O to P, that means that the wave is traveling from left to what? Left to right. So if the wave is traveling from left to right, it is clear that P leads O by phi angle, that is by phi. So if P leads leads O by phi, and the equation which I've written on the chalkboard, this equation is the equation for the particle which is at P. This one represents the phase angle. That means that if I want the equation of a wave at point O, if I want the equation of the wave at point O is having a phase angle omega t, having a phase angle less by phi with reference to P. In other words, O lags behind P by phase angle phi. So if P is having phase angle omega t, as you have written, if it's having phase angle omega t, this is for what? For P. That means that for O, you get me? For O, the phase angle is less that of P by what? By phi. And so what? And so the equation for the wave, which is at O, is given by y equals to a sine of omega t, but less by what? By phi. That is minus phi. You first pronounce that phi. You get that? Good. So it is less by phi. So this is the general expression. This one is the general expression for the wave which is at point O. Good. And what is this phi anyway? Phi can be expressed in terms of what? In terms of wavelength and pi. Please, I said phi and pi, those are two different things. Good. Now from the diagram, when you look at the diagram very well, from here to here, it is the wavelength, two particles which are in phase. From O to where there is this 2 pi. From O to this point is the wavelength lambda. But that one is equivalent to angle 2 what? 2 pi, because it's 360. This is 180. This is another one what? 180, making 360 degrees. That's why we're saying that lambda corresponds to 200. Corresponds to 2 pi. Lambda is the linear distance from here to here, but 2 pi is the whole of this angle. Then when you see this half a circle again, semicircle, you realize that x is the linear distance that corresponds to what? To the angle phi. So we use that to come out with the expression for what? For phi. So we said that from the diagram, lambda corresponds to 2 pi. And also when you consider the half a circle, the semicircle, when you consider the semicircle, when you consider that semicircle, this semicircle, you see x, this x, that x, this one you're seeing, this one corresponds to what? Corresponds to 5. So we say x, corresponds to what? Corresponds to 5. So when I cross multiply, I will get lambda 5 to be equals to 2 pi what? 2 pi x. So that means that our 5 is the same as 2 pi x over lambda. So this is the expression for what? For 5. Is that okay? Good. Don't forget, we said that the general equation now is given by y equals to a sine of omega t minus what? Minus 5. So that means that if I substitute the value of 5, that equation will be y equals to a sine of omega t minus 2 pi x over lambda. Very good. That is our expression. A sine of omega t minus 2 pi x over what? Over lambda, having got pi as this. That is that. We saw that one still when we are together. From there, we modified this equation now. We replace lambda and we replace 5. We came up with this. After we replaced omega as 2 pi f. Don't forget that we said omega is 2 pi what? 2 pi f. So this one we also said 2 pi f as omega. That's why we got 2 pi f t minus 2 pi x over lambda. That is that equation. Then we look at that equation again. This one, 2 pi is common, 2 pi is here. So we pull it out. So that's why we have a sine of 2 pi into, here we remain with f t minus x over lambda. But also, frequency is 1 over period, don't forget that, we said that. So that means that y equals to a sine of t over t minus x over lambda. This is the equation of the progressive wave. Oh, if people are getting how the thing is going to work out. Having said that, remember we said it was for a wave traveling from left to where? To right. You get that? Left to what? To right. What about for a wave traveling from right to left? Very simple. If the wave traveling from right to left, left to right is t minus t over t minus x over lambda, then that one which is traveling in the reverse direction, you just change this sign here. You get that? So if from left to right is minus, then that means that from right to left is a plus. Is that right? So from right to left is what? Is a plus. Please don't forget that. If from left to right is a minus, then from right to left is what? Is a plus. Good. We calculated everything here. I don't want us to repeat it again. Please make sure you write the things down, then you calculate them by comparison. We are doing that by comparison only. So you calculated this, you calculated all these examples, you calculated all this until when we reach remember we also calculated this. Please try to calculate all those numbers and They are of course very simple. Good. In the next lesson, we are going to start on stationary waves. This is where we are supposed to start from the other time, but now in the next lesson we shall have stationary waves. Ensure that you have done all numbers in the progressive waves, all of it, because it's the foundation for us to move on with this very, very well. Allow me stop there, but don't forget to attend the next lesson. I still remain your one and only Mr. Alira Daniel. See you in the next lesson. Please, goodbye.